Heavy hitter time. We're outside the Beacon Hill studio, joined as I always am by Cosmo Macero Jr. Associates. I'm not saying the recession is hitting your business hard, Cosmo, but apparently the shoe shine guy has been let go. Turn the other way on those for a minute. Turn this foot.
What do you mean?
Turn that foot the other way.
A little bit dusty.
Let's see it. Turn it.
That's all right. That's all right.
Look at that thing. What happened to you?
Hey, I get the floor guys in my house that tear up my floors, and I didn't have a time to shine my shoes.
Yes, you did.
At least they're on the right feet.
That's right.
Yeah, there you go. Peter
Sure
KADZIS of the Boston Phoenix joins me. His footwear is okay and appropriate this time. Last week he had the Crocs, let's not forget. Let's start with this gentleman, corner office right behind you, as we are wont to do these days. DEVAL Patrick. The question is this, Cosmo. Is he trying to lose his re-election a year before it even happens? Not only does he do the gas tax, or propose the gas tax, he then goes on CNN and in explaining it says, grown-ups know we have tough choices to make.
Yeah. I think all politicians know that they ought to be careful and cautious in how they refer to the electorate, and maybe he could have chose better words there. As far as his political future in Massachusetts, I think the governor also knows that there's a tremendous amount of risk, downside here, in this kind of very unpopular proposal, whether you think you need some level of gas tax or not, or if it's too high or too low. You know there's a downside. It's not going to play well in an election. I think he recognizes that. It makes you wonder what he sees for his political future, if it's a re-election bid or something else. But there's no question he knows there's huge political risk here. I think that probably means he thinks, hey, I got to do this. Our transportation infrastructure is crumbling. We got to do something.
Peter, it's one thing to be served a main course of a 19-cent gas tax increase. It's another to be served a heaping portion of condescension side dish with it. I mean, do you like being called a child by the governor?
I'm not a child. I understand and reluctantly accept the need for...
I guess you're a grown-up then.
I am a grown-up. And there's a lot of truth to what the governor says. Now, the political risk is how many grown-ups are there in the electorate. Look, to try to... I'm not sure whether we're ratcheting up or ratcheting down with what I'm about to say is... I don't think DEVAL likes politics.
I don't think DEVAL likes being questioned, and that's where the grown-up cut. I think when DEVAL says something, he expects it to be done and nobody to raise his stink about it, and when they do, we're told we're not smart, we just think we are, or we're not grown-ups.
Well, a better way to put it is said, look, anyone who thinks about it for a minute, and I said, your first reaction is going to be, oh no, not more taxes. But then I'd ask everyone who has that reaction, think about it for a minute. How are we going to pay for, and you go, A, B, C, D. As a piece of political, let's put it this way, as a piece of political analysis, he was right on the money. However, he's not an analyst like us. As a piece of political theater...
And the remainder of that comment that you can't get something for nothing, we're not really getting something new here. We're just trying to catch up on infrastructure. We're trying to make sure the government is supplying one of the fundamental things it's supposed to supply, which are safe roads and bridges.
And isn't it the easy answer to say, that's funny, because all the politicians and government agencies that got us into this mess, they did get something for nothing over the last 10 years. They got fat while we got stuck with debt.
Nobody likes to be called a coward or a child, and it goes to how important it is to choose your words. When you know what you want to say, you just got to make sure the messaging is correct.
Let's talk about tolls now, tied in with the gas tax increase. We find out today the Mass Turnpike Authority going to vote to increase tolls in March and then maybe again in July.
I thought the Turnpike Authority was being abolished.
Until they are, they're going to strike. But we're told, Cosmo, that if the tolls go up, if and when the gas tax goes through, the tolls can come down again. Likelihood of that happening.
Just do what I do. $2, give it to them, take the change, throw it in the console.
That's going to be $7 in July.
Or stay away from the airport. I mean, I pull up, I give them the money, and I take the change and throw it in the console and hope I have enough the next time. It's very confusing, and I think it's going to lead to delays at the tolls and so forth. And I think people are going to argue more with, like we read in the paper, they argue more with toll collectors. But it's really confusing, and I have no confidence that we're going to see an end to tolls in Massachusetts anytime soon.
Look, this is, I don't know, this sounds like the way they do business in Albania. My apologies to all those Americans of Albanian descent. It's a typical mess up. The fact of the matter is, though, crazy and as stupid as all of this is, we're running out of money. We need money for essential services. Tolls may have to go up. Taxes may have to go up. I'm not sure about the amount. But my God, we're certainly botching the way in which it's being handled. It's not a very mature way to run a government.
We're short on time. Well, let's skip over Obama's speech tonight because we know what that's going to be. Let's talk about Hugh Jackman at the Oscars, Cosmo, because we're told that the reason why he was so great is that we love musicals, and musicals are back. With that being said, give me a really good Cosmo Macero experience at a musical.
Can't do it. I dodged the Dirty Dancing bullet 2 weeks ago and went to the Patriots Hall of Fame instead. I dodged chorus line in 6th grade by taking a test and staying in school. And my wife and I went to Phantom of the Opera. Halfway through the first act, couldn't handle it, walked out. Doesn't exist.
I hope that's a true story. I have faith in you.
Confirmation, absolutely. Absolutely.
Peter, are the musicals back? Is this what America needs?
Well, I don't know if it's what America needs. Actually, I think America appreciates anything that takes their mind off bad news, and musicals are a fantasy. Listen, I'm not a big fan of most of the modern musicals, but probably because I grew up listening to my parents listen to, classics like South Pacific and Oklahoma, that I have a soft spot in my heart for the sort of 1940s, 1950s.
That's where the musical belongs, in the 1940s. This is 2009.
I'm known to hum Fiddler on the Roof from time to time.
Cut Peter KADZIS of the Phoenix. Cosmo Macero Jr.